Hello and welcome. This is the primetime news on MITV. I am Tomisin. First, the headlines. Oshibajo orders immediate overhaul of SARS. Saraki Dogara justify non-convening of National Assembly. INEC registers 23 new political parties. On the foreign scene, Italian bridge collapse kills dozens. And on sports, FIFA threatens to suspend Nigeria-Ghana over government interference. The news in detail. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has directed the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, to immediately overhaul the management and activities of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. The order follows persistent complaints and critical reports about the activities of SARS. The complaints border on allegations of human rights violations. Senior Special Assistant to the Acting President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akande, announced the directive in a statement signed on Tuesday. According to the statement, Osinbajo instructed the IGP to ensure that any unit that emerges from the overhaul is intelligence-driven, restricted to prevention and detection of armed robbery, kidnapping, apprehension of offenders linked to the stated offences, and nothing more. The acting president also directed the IGP to ensure that all operatives in the emerging unit conduct their operations in strict adherence to the rule of law and due regard to international human rights laws and the constitutionally guaranteed rights of suspects. Similarly, Osinbajo ordered the National Human Rights Commission to set up a special panel that will conduct an investigation into the alleged unlawful activities of SARS. He said the panel would afford members of the public the opportunity to present their grievances and get justice. Meanwhile, Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris has ordered SARS immediate overhauling to address complaints and allegations of human rights violations against some of its personnel. This is sequel to the order given by the acting president Yemi Osinbajo for the overhaul of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. A release signed by Force Public Relations Officer, Force Headquarters Abuja, acting DCP Jimoh Moshood, and made available via the verified Facebook wall of the NPF, said Inspector General of Police has complied with the presidential directive to address complaints and allegations on human rights violations against some of the personnel of Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS from members of the public in some parts of the country. Under the new arrangement, new Commissioner of Police has been appointed as the overall head of Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad nationwide, while the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad, previously under the Force Criminal Intelligence and Investigations Department, is henceforth to operate under the Department of Operations, Force Headquarters Abuja. The Commissioner of Force FSAS is answerable to the Inspector General of Police through the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Department of Operations. The new FAS commanders are being appointed for the Federal Anti-Robbery Squad across the country that will now exist and operate in the state and zonal commands under the Commissioner of Police at the Force Headquarters, Abuja. A federal SARS commander of the rank of the Superintendent of Police CSP, but not below Superintendent of Police SP, will be in charge of FARS at the state and zonal levels. In a related development, a group has taken a swipe at the activities of men of the Nigerian Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS, saying that there is urgent need for a structure of or refine the police anti-crime unit. The group said this was as a result of alleged violation of human rights by members of the public, some of whom have suffered a lot in the hands of men of SARS. At the media launch of the Regional Watch for Human Rights in Lagos on Tuesday, the regional director of the civil society group, Tola Adebayo, called on federal government to pay urgent attention to the remodeling of SARS. He said this will go a long way in putting an end to alleged human rights abuses leveled against SARS. Adebayo advocated a strong synergy among human rights groups with renewed vigor to improve human rights record in Nigeria.
and I saw him with the gun. So I was, wow, what is happening here? Probably because I came from Warsaw, I saw this guy with no uniform. How could somebody identify such a thing? Even the armed robbers trying to operate, it will not be uniform of police, it will be in any mosque. So if these SARS that are saying are one of the units of the police, government agents to correct one or two things, I think they need to be refined. There's a need to have them restructured.
We believe therefore that as this body has been born today in Nigeria, we have to join hands together with the existing comrades and other freedom fighters to discover where policies of government in Nigeria are failing the people, number one, and explain well to our people what these rights are that are being trampled upon, and also where the people are failing the policies of government.
Away from police SARS overhauling, Senior Special Assistant to the President of National Assembly Matters, Senator Itai Enang, has hinted that the 2018 electoral bill passed by the National Assembly on July 24 and forwarded to President Muhammadu Buhari is currently awaiting assent. Senator Enang gave the clarification in Abuja against the backdrop of reports published by National Daily that Buhari had vetoed the 2018 electoral bill forwarded to him for assent. He said the vetoed bill was the one sent to President on June 27 and not the one passed by both chambers of the National Assembly on July 24, the day the NAS embarked on its annual recess. SSA to President on National Assembly Matters added that the bill, as well as other bills pending before President, is undergoing standard operational procedure concerning legislative matters. President Buhari had veto in the earlier one in February, cited 3 reasons for doing so, one of which was the new sequence of elections included in the bill through Section 25, Part 1.
The important in the eyes of the public now is to accept and know that the President has not declined assent to a live and living bill before him, and that Mr. President is still considering that bill, and that bill is undergoing standard presidential operational procedure relating to legislative measures. It has been addressed, and Mr. President, being the issues that he had he expressed reservations over, unless there are other matters arising, I think we are optimistic that the Mr. President will give his decision within time.
Away from police SARS overhauling, again, the Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara have explained why the National Assembly cannot reconvene now. The 2 leaders of the National Assembly stated this in a statement jointly signed by the Senior Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to Senate President Yusuf Olaniyonu and his counterpart to the Speaker, Turaki Hassan. They stated that as a prelude to resumption, the Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters and officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission would have held a meeting. Following this, the joint committees were also expected to meet with the Joint Senate and House committees on appropriations, loans and debts on the Eurobond loan request, after which 2 reports would have been ready for presentation in the 2 chambers. They added that none of these meetings had held, implying that if lawmakers had reconvened, there would have been no report for them to consider, pointing out that until the committees have a ready report for the consideration of the 2 chambers, it will be most irresponsible to recall members from recess, especially those that may have traveled to Saudi Arabia for the Hajj. Still on Senate matters, Senate President Bukola Saraki has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to investigate last Tuesday's siege on the National Assembly by Department of State Services. Saraki insisted on Tuesday that there were some very serious questions that needed to be answered via a thorough and neutral investigation. after mass operatives of the DSS had besieged the National Assembly, preventing federal lawmakers and journalists from entering the National Assembly for a meeting to deliberate on urgent national matters, including the budget for the 2019 general elections. The Senate President said in a tweet that an independent judicial panel of inquiry should be instituted immediately to look into that assault on our democracy. People's Democratic Party lawmakers accused the APC government of being behind the invasion, but APC and the Nigerian government denied prior knowledge of the blockade, and the Director General of the DSS was immediately sacked by Acting President Yemi Osinbajo. Recall that APC, while reacting to the blockade in a press statement signed by its acting National Publicity Secretary Yekini Nabena, claimed that its investigation revealed the Senate President was behind the invasion. The ruling party said Saraki mobilized thugs to National Assembly to stop his purported impeachment, and the DSS only moved in to prevent any outbreak of violence. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has registered 23 new political parties, bringing the total number of parties to 91. Some of the parties include the Advanced Alliance Party, Liberation Movement, Save Nigeria Congress, United Patriots, Youth Party, We the People Nigeria, among others. Others include Change Nigeria Party, Congress of Patriots, Liberation Movement, Movement for Restoration and Defense of Democracy, Nigeria Community Movement, Nigeria for Democracy, People's Coalition Party, and Reform and Advancement Party. INEC also registered United People's Congress, Yes Electorate Solidarity, and Zenith Labour Party. Still on politics, Governor Ibrahim Dankwabo of Gombe State on Tuesday visited former President Olusegun Obasanjo at the Presidential Library Complex in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. Although the governor declined to speak on what he discussed with the former president, it is believed the visit was in connection with his presidential ambition ahead of the 2019 general elections. The governor was accompanied by members of his campaign organization and held a closed-door meeting with the former president. Addressing leaders and members of the People's Democratic Party later, Dankwabo said he has practical solutions to the problems confronting the country, adding that he had acquired experience as an accountant general of the Federation under three presidents. He, however, promised to willingly step down and support any candidate who has a better pedigree and leadership credentials.
Most importantly, let me say we are here today to interact with our party members and share experiences on the way to move the party forward, and also to offer ourselves for service. And like I said, given all the criteria that has been outlined by the DG of my campaign, and the kind of template that the party will bring into being before they select the next person that will represent our party, that if I fit into that criteria, fine and good, I'm ready to serve, given my training, my educational qualification, experience, and all this kind of thing.
A former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Nuhu Ribadu, has called on Nigerians, irrespective of their political affiliations, to join hands in rooting out corruption in the country through the whistleblower policy initiated by President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. The former EFCC boss stated this while speaking at the launch of an anti-corruption report titled Engaging Whistleblowing in Nigeria, 1 Year of Corruption Anonymous Cora Project Abuja. He noted that strengthening the synergy between the public and anti-corruption agencies was the only way to promote transparency in governance, thereby restoring integrity in anti-graft war. Ribadu, however, stressed that there is no better way to get Nigerians to support the fight against corruption than through coherent and systematic campaign that has the full support of ordinary Nigerians.
followed and have seen there are people who have become professional hunters and then speculating. It's not that they have evidence. They will go, they will see a beautiful, nice house, and say, there is something in this. There is something. So they will go to this law enforcement, they will move to another one, they will go to this. So some of these things are things that will continue, but law enforcement will be in a position to take care of that. These are some of the issues the Corruption Anonymous CORA project of the African Center for Media and Information Literacy has tried to address through the publication. In the last one, AfriCmail, with the support of the MacArthur Foundation, has engaged the public around the whistleblower policy, seeking in the process to create greater awareness about the policy, ensure the integrity of the process, and advocate for the protection of whistleblowers.
The coordinator, African Center for Media and Information Literacy, Chido Onuma, said sensitization of the public was key in reaffirming government's commitment towards fighting corruption.
In whistleblowing and making Nigerians see the need to adopt it as a strategic tool for reducing corruption, AfriCmail embarked on a series of activities, including creating awareness through media and civil society engagement, stakeholders forum, and periodic training for agencies of government, as well as a series of focused public education in cities across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll bring you foreign stories. Please stay tuned.
Two senior Kenya government officials have been charged in court with fraud over the building of a $3.2 billion Chinese-founded railway line. The two are accused of paying more than $2 million in compensation to private firm which falsely claimed to own land through which the lane ran. The officials and 15 other accused have pleaded not guilty to the charges. The railway line, which was Kenya's biggest infrastructure project since independence from the UK in 1963, was commissioned by President Uhuru Kenyatta in May last year, hailing it was a new chapter in the East African state's history. The line ran between the port city of Mombasa and the capital Nairobi, and constructions were completed 18 months earlier. A motorway bridge has collapsed in the northwest Italian city of Ghana, killing at least 35 people as vehicle plummeted to the ground. Emergency service says a dramatic video footage captured the moment of a disaster when one of the huge supporting towers crashed down during torrential rain. Vehicle and debris fell 235 feet onto rail tracks and a warehouse, and rescuers are trying to free people caught in crushes, vehicle or rubble. Some 200 firefighters are among the personnel at the scene. Interior Minister Matteo Salvini said Transport Minister Danilo Toninelli spoke of an immense tragedy, and France offered Italy its support. Taliban fighters overran a northern Afghan army base on Tuesday, killing at least 14 soldiers, with dozens fired, captured, and others said to have fled in the latest blow to the country's security forces. Army spokesman for northern Afghanistan, Mohammad Ahif Razi, said militants gained control of the base in Gormaj district of Volatil, Faryab province after days of heavy fighting, adding that 100 soldiers were on the base when it was first attacked on Sunday. The Taliban victory in Faryab comes day after militants launched a brazen attack on the southeastern Afghan city of Ghazni late Thursday. Some 2 hours drive from the capital, Kabul. An attack in Yemen's southern city of Aden has apparently targeted the convoy of a Saudi-backed Yemeni officials, as witness told the Reuters news agency. A roadside bomb hit the convoy of the governor of Taiz province on Tuesday. Amin Hamed Mahmoud, who is a member of the internationally recognized government in exile of the president Ahmed Rabu Mansouri Hadi, survived the blast. The logistical support from the United States, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates have been waging a war in Yemen since March 2015. Coalition forces quickly retook the southern city of Aden and smaller coastal towns, but since then, neither side has made much progress in the war. World Football governing body, unless the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) office are not handed back to legitimate NFF Executive Committee under President Amaju Malvin Panik. Nigeria put itself on a coalition course with FIFA in July when the government sports ministry directed the NFF to comply with a court order to overrun Picnic's election and recognize Chris Giwa as its head. Cristiano Ronaldo is among the 11 nominees for the UEFA Goal of the Season prize following a stunning overhead kick for Real Madrid against his new club Juventus in last season's Champions League. Only one goal from each UEFA competition is nominated, so Ronaldo has been selected ahead former teammate Gareth Bale, who scored a similar accurate.
And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Sensational! All the Juventus fans around.
And talking tennis, former world #1 Serena Williams looked sharp in a return to the hard court, suddenly defeating Daria Gavrilova 6-1, 6-2 to advance to the second round of the Cincinnati Masters. Williams was never broken as she dispatched the 24-year-old Australian.
Back near her sizzling Serena, back near her scintillating best.
However, in the men's category, Andrew Murray's comeback following his hip surgery ended again sadly after he was beaten 6-1, 1-6, 6-4 by Lucas Poli in the first round of the Cincinnati Open. Poli proved to be the more resourceful as he claimed his first win in 5 tries against Murray.
And that'll do it. It seals the deal.
Finally, in basketball, veteran forward Carmelo Anthony has signed a 1-year deal with Houston Rockets. Anthony penned a contract worth a patrioted $2.4 million on Monday and joined the likes of James Harden and Chris Paul in a star-studded Rocket side.
Get out of my way. 4 to shoot, finds Kenyon Martin, and he banks it in. Anthony's first assist of the afternoon and a huge one.
That's the much we can take on the primetime news tonight. But before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has directed the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, to immediately overhaul the management and activities of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SAS) following persistent complaints and critical reports bordering on allegations of human rights violations. The Senate President, Bukola Saraki, and Speaker House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, have explained why the National Assembly cannot reconvene immediately, citing the awaited reports from the various joint committees of the Senate and House of Representatives as the major reason. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has registered 23 new political parties, bringing the total number of parties in Nigeria to 91. And on the foreign scene, a motorway bridge has collapsed in the northwest Italian city of Genoa, killing at least 35 people as vehicles plummeted to the ground. And on sports, World Football Governing Body FIFA has threatened to suspend Nigeria and Ghana football federations over government interference. You can stay abreast with all of our programs via joining MITV.online.com. You can also stay tuned to MITV via our social media handles, Facebook, MITV Lagos, and Twitter, MITV.ng. It's been Tomisin on the news tonight. Have a pleasant night rest.